Mothering. After the end, there is a new start. It is not what they wanted. It is exactly what they deserved. One of them, a human, finds the supermarket where the end started and where the new start began. He cracks his way in, finds the preserved portmanteau of the convenience congregation lurched in perpetual conflict over cornflakes, condiments, and cut-price condoms. Each figure glazed in the shrink-wrap of Armageddon, a laminated Pompeii. He is careful not to touch them. He has learned that now. The survivors learn that quickly, because survival is so fragile. The stuff of days past lies patient on the aisles, still awaiting a sell-by date which never arrived. He adds things to his rucksack, not really sure what most of it is. There is a voice in the air. All it says is, "Don't forget, Mother." Then a silence. Then a small squeal. Then, "Don't forget, Mother," and repeat. He thinks it might be a clue. He pauses in the seasonal aisle. He tries to feel warmth from the yellows, but the cold persists. Everything is egg-shaped. There are fragile flowers and distorted chicks, and the promise of sunshine and greenery. The figures here seem more peaceful than the ones near the doors. They hold brown eggs in boxes and stare at the brands. He hopes this will be the way that he nearly dies. But he pauses because he sees a word. Mother. He listens again to the voice. Don't forget, Mother. Don't forget, Mother. He does not know what mother is. Perhaps that was the problem. Perhaps they all forgot Mother. He takes hold of a bag of eggs. They are small, shiny, pink. He tears open the bag and holds 3 of the eggs in his hand. He closes his fingers. He wonders if the eggs will hatch and what will emerge if they do. He wanders the aisles, fills up his rucksack, and leaves it by the door. Then he goes in search of the voice. It could be important. It could be an answer. The voice comes from speakers high up in the roof, but he knows better. He knows the voice is spoken elsewhere. He pushes through staff-only doors, the portals to secrets. He finds the supermarket's shadows. He finds uniformed figures slouched on burst seats. He finds manager's office. But there's nothing useful inside, except pens. Then he finds control room. He can hear the voice behind the door. It is tiny, as if trapped. He takes out his rifle and nudges the door open. It is a room of still screens. There is a person crouched on the floor, a live one, another survivor. They stare at each other. The person presses buttons. One button stops the voice after, "Don't forget, Mother." Another creates the squeal, and a third makes the voice sound again. Click. Voice. Click, click. Voice. What is Mother? I'm trying to remember. There is a crossbow on the desk. On the screens he can see the supermarket torn apart and frozen, misangled and dulled. Should we fight? No boats. No bullets. No point then. The person stops the voice completely and rubs his face. He pushes himself from the floor and stretches his limbs. What's your name? He says. Sophie, he says. I'm Rebecca, he says. Sophie, can I ask you a question? Sure. Have you ever had a baby? Sophie thinks back to when his belly burst and a baby with a string fell out, blood red and screaming. The pain, the fear, the spillage. Yes, says Sophie. How did it feel? There is something wriggling in Sophie's hand. He opens his fingers and looks down. The eggs have hatched. 3 tiny baby shopping trolleys bash through the chocolate shells. Their wheels squeak and tickle Sophie's palm. Can I have one? Says Rebecca. For free? Rebecca nods. Sure, says Sophie. Rebecca takes the cutest one and puts it on the desk next to the crossbow. Together, they watch it skitter around. Rebecca puts it back on its wheels whenever it falls over. He seems to have forgotten about the voice. Sophie sneaks away. He lets the other 2 trolleys loose into the supermarket. Whenever they touch a figure, it will wake. Perhaps one of them will remember. Perhaps one of them is Mother. But Sophie doesn't want to be here when that happens. Sophie has done his bit. He takes his rucksack and flees the place.